5 times daily you would flee to the dark and dusty dungeons. It was here that you learned the Quran. It was here that you practiced your Iman. La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah.
A very good morning to you. It's just on 20 to 7 and you're watching Morning Live. My name's Leanne Manis. I'm standing in for Vuyo and Michelle for the morning. Well, this year, Muslims are celebrating 200 years of freedom to worship after their faith was unbanned 200 years ago in South Africa. The Muslim community, in the form of the Bicentennial celebrations, spearheaded by an organization called Awqaf, is spearheading the organization of festivities. Awqaf means community development through donation. Islam was banned during the early period of conquest and was only unbanned in 1804. Nosichelo Nkume and cameraman Chris Poswa compiled this report.
Islam has been in South Africa for more than 350 years. It is believed that Muslims first came to the Cape shortly after Jan van Riebeeck in 1652, when a decision was made to use it as a penal colony. As part of its campaign to break the will of political exiles, the Dutch East India Company prohibited the public practice of Islam and the culture of its adherents.
And we imagine what power it was to bring 2 million people together for one sole purpose.
Muslims were brought to the Cape of Good Hope from places like Indonesia and Java, among others, as political exiles and prisoners. Many were leaders, priests, and princes who were fighting for their freedom from Dutch expansionism. Some of them were incarcerated in places like the Robben Island and have since died in those places.
In and around Cape Town, there are many such places as like the ones that we are standing here at today. The ones in Makassar, where Sheikh Yusuf, who was the prince of one of the Tidore Islands in Indonesia, he is buried in Makassar, and then Tuan Guru, who is buried on Robben Island. They were banished, as I've mentioned, to South Africa because of their political fights against the Dutch and British colonizations, and they were banished here to spend the rest of their lives in chains and not having access to their own indigenous communities.
The first Quran in South Africa was written from memory on Robben Island. It has since been stored at this mosque in Awqaf near Cape Town. The mosque is the first in South Africa and was built in defiance of oppressive laws of the Dutch.
This is the site of the first mosque that was built in South Africa in 1794. It's known as Masjid al-Awwal, which literally means the first mosque. It was donated by a Muslim woman, quite significantly. Her name was Sarah van den Kaap. She donated this land for the development of a mosque. This was a site where Muslims defiantly opposed the statutes of the Dutch government that prohibited Muslims from practicing the religion publicly and in open congregation. And as part of this, the restricting laws of the Dutch government that restricted Muslim public life quite significantly, Muslim marriages were not recognized. Muslims were regularly detained for defying the laws, and incidentally, Muslims were in actual fact the first people to have to carry the Dom Pass in Cape Town.
After 150 years, on the 25th July 1804, Islam religion was finally unbanned and Muslims could worship in public and be allowed to build mosques. Okay. Islam and Arabic is now taught at various Islamic colleges around the country. Nosichelo Nkume, SABC, Cape Town.
5 times daily you would flee to the dark and dusty dungeons. It was here that you learned the Quran. It was here that you practiced your Iman. La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah.